Well, hello friends, welcome in. We are about halfway through our second season of Steph and Soul Talks, and we have a lot of great ones coming up. This has been a lot of a planning week, and so I've looked over the next several chats and planned out the next several interviews that are coming, and it's going to get really good. Beginning with today, my new friend Alka Dhillon is here all the way from DC. So, hey, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Stefan. It's so nice to be here with you.
Yes. Well, you guys, I am so excited about this talk. Alka is the spiritual CEO, and we're going to talk about that in just a second, because if you're like me, just hearing that is intriguing in and of itself. But let me just tell you a little bit about her first. She is the founder and the CEO of Technolink Incorporated. She has 19 years working in information technologies and management consultant. She's involved with the Network for Teaching Entrepreneurship, and she is one of the top 100 women leaders in science, technology, engineering, and math. So she definitely brings a unique, fresh perspective and a lot of insight to the show today. And Olga, once again, it's an honor to have you here. Let's start out with the spiritual CEO. That's how I was introduced to you. That's what you have all over on social media. And those are not concepts that we often hear together in the same sentence. So let's start there. What does it mean to be a spiritual CEO, and how does that work?
So to me, being a spiritual CEO it's someone that can bring spirituality into their workplace. And by spirituality, I don't mean religion or dogma or anything like that. It's coming from a very spiritual place where you're coming from within and you are bringing that to your workplace, whether that be at home, whether that be in an office setting like I'm in right now, or whatever may have you. And it's coming from a place where you are in tune with what is going on in here. And I think that so many people, when you think about business, it's all very cutthroat and very focused on the material aspects of things. And you can be successful, you can earn money, and you can really do it at a very high level, but you can also do it with integrity and do it with where you're not on an island, and you get to tap into other people's creativity and help make their dreams come true along with your own. So that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, well, I love it. I've noticed this trend recently, and it's happened on a large scale with people like Arianna Huffington, people like John Mackey. But even in my circles, I've heard a lot of talk about this, that the cutthroat business model about, doing whatever it takes to climb up the ladder no matter who you're stepping on. A lot of people have been saying recently that's an outdated model, and people are moving away from that. Why do you think there's this big shift happening? Have you felt that?
Absolutely. I've definitely felt it, and I welcome it. I'm so happy it's finally here, and it's coming more mainstream. I think we're all conscious beings, so it was always here. But, more people are going within, and consciousness is expanding. And when you have that, you have conscious leadership, the conscious workplace. You'll hear all these sorts of things. And I think it's fantastic that people are doing that. And you mentioned somebody so amazing, Arianna Huffington, with her book Thrive that's out. She talks about so many things that are just so important for women and for human beings. I know she, has a strong female following, but for anybody that is a human being, I mean, she's fantastic. I love her message.
Yeah, well, and I love it because I have friends that work at HuffPost, and they experience the difference in that workplace, on a day-to-day basis. And so it's cool to hear her on OWN and to read Thrive, and so many great ideas there. But I guess one thing I love to do on my channel is make this spiritual practical and figure out how do we take spirituality into our practical realm. And so I love that she's doing that. I love that you're doing that. And I do want to talk about career stuff today. Spirituality does have implications for our careers. And I think there's a misconception that spirituality means I'm going to go sit on a mountain all day and I can't have a job and I can't have a life and I can't, and that's not the reality, as so many people are discovering. So one thing I want to do on this show is help people who feel stuck. And I heard you recently talking about people repeating issues. So let's talk to somebody who says, I feel like I'm repeating the same issues over and over and over again. The same story keeps recurring in my life. Whether that's happening on a career level or on a personal level, what would you say to someone who feels like I'm stuck in a pattern repeating this over and over?
I would say to that person, you are repeating the pattern. It becomes like a broken record per se, and you're just like, how do I get off this ride? How do I get off this ride? What happens is the universe keeps sending the same message and lesson to you until you learn it. You must learn the lesson. That's why you'll go, if you take it from a career aspect you were asking, you'll go and you'll find that you're changing so many jobs, or wherever you go, you're just not fitting in, or it's always that you're passed up for a promotion, or maybe, you don't get along with your colleagues very well, or it's just not fun, or you're not making enough money. Or if in relationships, you're always, whether it's a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you always get the jerk, or, that person just comes in your life and you're just like, why? Why is this happening? It's because you are manifesting that. You are manifesting that because you do not believe in yourself. That is the first thing I think people need to realize, is that you need to love yourself, believe in yourself, because that's the message then that gets projected to other people in the workplace. If you love yourself, if you're confident, if you believe in yourself, you're not going to get passed up for things. Your people are going to they're going to feel your energy, they're going to want to be around you. You're going to want to be there. And that's all that we are energetic beings, and we just keep gravitating towards one another. In relationships, once you come across and you feel that you deserve love, you are love, and you can give love, you will receive it, and you will not have that same lesson repeat. So that's why I think you were referring to one of my tweets, where if you find the same situation keeps coming up, it's because the universe has learned that you're not learning that lesson. So.
Yeah. I want to touch on two things you said there that stood out to me. First of all, for most of us, if stuff seems to be going badly at work, or stuff seems to be going badly in relationships, we tend to look outward. We look at those externals and we say, why is this happening out here? And if I'm hearing you right, what you want us to do is move internally and say, what's going on in here? Is that right? Is that the shift we're making here?
That is exactly right, Stefan. That is exactly right. And how do we do that? And I do that. I practice that through meditation. And I can even go through that here in a couple of minutes if we want to do that. But and it's sitting in silence. And I think people, when they hear the word meditation, already alarm bells go off, like, oh my gosh, you picture the sitting on the mountain, or I can't have thoughts, and oh my gosh, I just can't do that. I can't sit. Who can sit? I can't do that. It's not that. It is just, it's sitting in a space that you feel comfortable, that is silence, and it can be for 2 minutes. It's not about how long you do it. It's about how consistent you are with the practice. And all you do is you close your eyes and you just observe your breath without manipulating it. You don't try to inhale and exhale on a thought or anything like that. You just observe your breath, and you observe what is happening. And thoughts will come and thoughts will go. And if you have thoughts, congratulations, you're a breathing human being. That's fantastic. And that's okay. And when you do that, it not only draws you in, that's where the magic happens, because everything is happening within. And I've heard you even speak about this yourself. I've heard some of your talks as well, and it's all within us. It's all the energy within us, and it comes from love. And when you do that, then you'll find, okay, I've done this for 2 minutes. You put your timer on your phone, and you hear it go off in 2 minutes, and you get up and don't have any expectations. But I promise you, if you do it every single day, you're going to see the shift. And where you see the shift is in other people, because that person that was mean to you at work all of a sudden is not so mean. Or you find that there was an opportunity that you hadn't seen before, and you go after it and you get it. And these are the types of shifts that you see.
And fundamentally, like you said a moment ago, we're talking about a shift in energy. And, I know that any of you who have watched for any length of time know that I continually go back to this. And maybe you're thinking, why is he always talking about energy? But I want you to touch on this because I really want people to get what we mean when we say all of us are energy, and there's shifts happening as we gravitate towards energy. Just give a brief introduction of what are we talking about here for somebody that's unfamiliar with that concept.
So, we all are energetic, soulful beings having a human experience. And so we're all information and energy. That's all we are these molecules moving around, and it's energy. And you feel like when you're around someone, and this is the best way I can explain it, when you're around someone that you see them smiling, and you just think, you look at them and you're like, is everything great in their life? Why are they just are happy all the time? How is that? They actually are, because they're so in tune with themselves. And what do? You want to kind of go towards that person. You find yourself, I just like hanging out. I like sharing space with that person. So it is very powerful. It is magnetic, and that's how we are as beings. And so when you find yourself gravitating towards a very negative space, and you find yourself in not a fun space, we are what we attract. You are also in that space. So that's why you need to go within, because you are an energetic being. Align yourself to where you feel in a more positive place, and you will see positivity radiate around you.
I love it. Now, one of the things that when we talk about attracting things into our lives, when we talk about manifesting things, people often think about their goals and their dreams. And I want to talk about that for a second, because you say that a lot of people have goals, but once they achieve goals, they don't know what to do. And so, they'll have a goal a long time ago. Maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. And then now they find themselves once again another category of people who are stuck. So what would you say to somebody who it's been a long time since they've had a new goal, since they've manifested anything or had any dreams? How do you get back on track there? How do we get forward momentum going in our lives?
I think, once you start going within, you will start to see it's like a treasure in front of you. The universe opens up, and you start to see things within yourself that you never thought were important to you, and I'd like to add, or things that maybe you thought were important. You realize, they're not so important anymore. And I'd like to talk about goals for a second. I think the definition, when people say the word goal, and they think of this material thing first that they have to attain, whether it be a new home, new job, new relationship, new car, whatever it is. Or they think of a spiritual type of goal, what I call a spiritual type of goal, which is, I want to feel fulfilled inside. I want to give back to the community. I want to be of service. I want to help my friend. I want to have a beautiful family. These types of things. What happens is the big feeling of being stuck, like you were saying, is when we have our goals and our dreams be defined by someone else and not ourselves. So you need to take a check-in within yourself, which I do very often, and ask, is this what I want? What do I really want? And you can do that right before you go into meditation. What do I want? What do I really, really want at this moment? And you'll see that those answers may be material, they may be spiritual in nature, they may be so many things. But I feel that in order to not get stuck, you have to make sure you're aligned with what your true desires are, and stop calling them goals like they have an end point, it is a journey. It's not a destination. So it keeps on going.
So both of those things, yeah. So both of those things, material goals and spiritual goals, both of those can be valid. You're saying both of those really can come from within you, but you've got to make sure that they're really yours and they don't belong to someone else.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Well, and my friend Jordan, he's been on this channel before multiple times, Jordan Bach. He says so much of the hurt and the pain in this world is caused by people chasing dreams that belong to someone else. And I have never forgotten that. There's plenty to go around. There's abundance in this world, but you've got to chase the dreams that belong to you and not to someone else. And I think, do you set intentions? Is that something that you do in conjunction with meditation at all?
That is exactly what I do. I set several intentions, but before I sit down, before I get into meditation, I take a few, deep breaths, and I feel my heart, because that's where everything comes from. And I ask myself, what do I really want at this moment? What am I looking for? What is my intention? And I set that intention, and then I begin to observe my breath. And I do that, and it is just so fantastic. And I cannot tell you, Stefan, how life-changing it is when you do it consistently. You will see so many things manifest in your life that are just beyond what you could ever imagine.
Yeah. I want to second this. For those of you who are skeptical or unsure what to think, when you go within on a consistent basis, when you make meditation a daily habitual practice, it really does. I don't know how to explain it, but it speeds up the manifestation process. It makes it magical. And you know what? I think we're going to do it in a minute. I want to get through one more question. But I really do want to end this with meditation, because we've talked about it a lot on my channel. We've never actually done a meditation. And when you brought that up as a possibility, I felt like, you know what? We've come this far on a journey, and I think this is a good moment to do that, to share that with this community. So we're going to meditate in a second. You guys stay tuned for that. I do want to, I want to go to something that you said about being in elevators, and something that you do and that you recommend people do in an elevator that you think changes everything. What is that? What is that simple thing we can do? Because I loved that post that I read from you.
Oh, I'm glad that resonated with you. So, when you're in an elevator, what does everyone do? Everyone is either looking at their phone or they're looking up at the numbers at the top. When is my floor going to get here? When is my floor going to get here? And you have this sense of, it's almost anxiety that's there. Your body language kind of tightens up. Everybody around you is tightening up, and it just it's something where it's very simple. You just make eye contact with the person that's next to you, to your left or your right, and just smile at them. And that's it. It is so powerful. It shifts the energy. At first, you'll notice that person maybe like, what did she just do? She just smiled at me. I don't even know her.
Like, is it kosher in an elevator? Are we allowed to do this?
Exactly. And then they'll just smile back, and then it just, because it's energy, the entire elevator's energy changes, and you'll see people start to make a joke. Somebody will make a joke, or somebody will smile back, and somebody will say, have a nice day. And it just, you could have had the worst morning or the worst afternoon or whenever it is that you're coming in that elevator, and just by shifting that energy, you will change. You will be the change of what's going to happen with all the people that are around you and within yourself.
That's so cool. I love it. And, I love how easy that is to put into practice. That is something that you can go do today, tomorrow, the next time you're at work, the next time you're anywhere, the gym, wherever you happen to be in an elevator. But that's something all of us can do. And I've tried it on a couple of occasions since reading your words, and it does. It shifts the energy in a very tangible way. And you feel it. It's sometimes hard to explain or to put into words, but you can feel these things. And so I guess I'm going to end. I'll ask you, the question that I end all interviews with, and then I think that's a great segue to go into a meditation, and we'll give all of you a meditation as our gift at the end of this interview. But Alka, if you could say one thing to every person in the universe, what would your message be? And if you need to pause and think about that for a second, that's perfectly fine. But if you picked one message for every person watching this, what would your message be?
My message would be, do not take yourself so seriously. It's very important. And what I mean by that is we take ourselves so seriously, and we think, when we look, oh, I've had the most awful day, and I can't believe this is happening and that's happening. Everything is transient. Everything passes. Nothing is fixed. Nothing. And so when you stop taking yourself so seriously, everything around you it works. And I really believe in that, and I'd like to share that for sure.
Yeah, and what a powerful message to come from the spiritual CEO. Don't take yourself so seriously. Okay, well, Alka, would you do the honor of leading us all in a meditation as we end this conversation? I would love to do that and give that as a gift to everyone watching this.
Oh, I would love to. So we'll do an abridged version right now of how I would start. So if you're in a chair, you can do it in a chair if you're not comfortable with sitting on the floor. And we're here in an office, and I'm in a dress, so I'm going to stay in my chair. And put your hands with your palms up on your knees so that you receive the energy from the universe onto your palms. And gently close your eyes. And just take a couple of deep breaths for a second. And then you just simply be, and I want you to observe your breath and feel your heartbeat. That beautiful heartbeat. That heartbeat is the beat to which you march, not anybody else's direction or desire, but by your own, and this is your time. Let's see. Now, as you're feeling your heartbeat, when you're by yourself, you can set your intention here, whatever that may be. Doesn't matter what it is. Don't judge yourself. Don't judge your intentions. After you set it, you let it go, and you do not think about it anymore. And then you just be and breathe. Whenever you're ready, however long you want to set your timer for on your phone, whenever that goes off, give yourself a few seconds before you open your eyes. And thank yourself. Thank yourself for allowing yourself this time. And then slowly open your eyes. That was wonderful. Thank you, Stefan. That was really nice.
Yeah, I hope that you guys did that with us, and I hope that you felt the shift. I love, for some reason, this word just really resonates with me. I love thinking about the universe as self-organizing and always reorganizing. And I always feel like when I meditate, everything just reorganizes. The energy changes, the intention changes, and I just feel like everything reorganizes in my universe, and I love that. Wow. That was a phenomenal meditation. Okay. Now, for the last 25 minutes, Alka has been sharing a lot of very practical while simultaneously very spiritual stuff. And I'm very excited, Alka, because I hear that you have a book coming out in the future and that you're going to be sharing all of this stuff and more in written form. So tell us a little bit about that, and tell us in the meantime where all of us can find you online.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Stefan. Yes, very excited about the book that's coming out. It's called The Om Factor, and it's about bringing spirituality into the business world and into your life, and it gives very practical tools on how to do that. It talks about, in the book, I discuss real scenarios that we all feel, whether it's feeling anxious, feeling overwhelmed, things like that, and how do you practically deal with those things in the moment. And then in the second part of the book, I go into the qualities and the key traits that you can cultivate within yourself so that those feelings that we feel acutely in the moment, that you feel like you're hemorrhaging, don't happen as often, and you respond rather than react. So really looking forward to sharing that with you. And it's coming out early 2015, so look out for it. And in the meantime, you can follow me on Twitter at The Spiritual CEO, or you can follow me on my blog at www.thespiritualceo.com. I'm on Facebook as well under The Spiritual CEO, and on Instagram as well. So
wonderful. Well, you all should follow her. I promise you guys, so many of these questions came right out of a post, a tweet, but really paradigm-shifting ideas that make my day better, that make the world better. And I'm already just going to go ahead and predict the Om Factor is going to be the best business book of 2015, because we are in this global shift. People are waking up to the need for a higher consciousness in the workplace. And I think that this book is going to be so practical for everyone from a CEO to a student and everything in between. The Om Factor. I did get that right, didn't I?
You got it.
Okay. Well, this has been phenomenal. I hope that you all have enjoyed this as much as I have. And Alka, thank you so much for taking time out of your week to lift all of us up in so many practical ways.
Oh, it was such a pleasure, Stefan, sharing these with you and all your viewers. And I think you guys are all fantastic. And having Stefan at the helm of this, I think, is going to bring some great things. So we're all very lucky to have you. Thank you.
Well, we send this out. I know as I got on and logged on today, my intention that I set was that you all would receive this in love and that you would feel love radiating from this broadcast and from our hearts to you. So I trust that was felt. I trust that you'll continue to feel that, and that you take the energy of your meditation and the intention that you just set with you through the rest of this week. So thanks, guys. We love you, and I'll be back next week for another Steph and Soul Talk. Thank you, everybody.